What's up, everybody? Back for another beer review, and today I will be reviewing another beer from Decadent Ales, and they're out of Mamaroneck, New York. And this is their Pecan Pie. So they are calling this a double IPA with pecans and maple syrup added. Comes in at 8.6% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed at the time of review. I have no idea how old this can is because the date on the bottom is totally smeared. It's just, I can't read it. Unreadable. But this beer showed up along with 5 other Decadent beers recently, and those beers were right around 2 months old. So I'll put this right around 2 months old, maybe just a touch over 2 months old at the time of review. And yeah, anyway, so Decadent, I have a love and hate relationship with them. More often than not, whatever they say is on the can. They usually hit the nail on the head, like Pecan Pie. I'm hoping this tastes like a pecan pie, but usually the base beer, in this instance would be the double IPA portion, usually gets lost. It's very rare for me to drink one of their beers and everything just work out perfectly. But anyway, a little bit of confusion with this beer, especially for this puny brain of mine. So on Untappd, when you search for Pecan Pie IPA or just Pecan Pie from Decadent, a beer shows up that has pretty much the exact same label as this, but they call it a session IPA with mosaic hops, with roasted pecans and burnt sugars. This is totally not the same beer. So yeah, kind of weird. I finally did find the double IPA beer on Untappd, and you know, it has the similar I guess description of this one. Also, a fellow beer tuber, Brad Allison, and his wife Jessica are the only beer tubers that I've seen that have reviewed this beer, and they were kind of split on it. Brad was like, I pretty much just get a slight nuttiness to the beer and more citrus, and he was kind of underwhelmed with it. Meanwhile, Jessica really liked it. She talked about how, you know, she was getting the pecans. She was also getting like a Caro syrup sweetness, which if you've ever made a pecan pie, you usually use Caro syrup or like a dark corn syrup. But anyway, be interesting to see what I think about this one. At the end of their video, they're like, you know, I want to see what other people think about this one. So here we are. We'll see what I think about it. Hopefully, I enjoy it like Jessica did, because if I'm being honest with you, if I end up, you know, having the same thoughts that Brad did, I'm going to be disappointed. Anyway, let's pour it in the glass here, see what we got going on. Seems to be quite carbonated. And then I'm not really pouring that crazy aggressive, but wow, lots of carbonation for sure. Anyway, so yeah, that pours out. You can't. We're gonna have to let the head settle, but that pours out this really nice burnt orange color. Yeah, really nice burnt orange color. It almost looks milky in a sense. I don't know how it's gonna show off on camera, but yeah, that looks pretty nice. Has about a 73,000 finger head because I poured it like the awesome person that I am. It's definitely off-white, mostly creamy and compact looking. There are some like medium, moderate bubbles in there, but for the most part, it looks pretty nice. Anyway, let's try to get a nose through the gigantic head of this beer. Ooh, I'm getting like a vanilla, almost, you know, lactose sweetness. I want to say, and I've said this in another review, I feel like they always use Madagascar vanilla or Madagascar vanilla beans or lactose, because I always get that, like, that's like their signature. You get this really sweet vanilla character from a lot of Decadent beers. At least I do. Oh, man, I just got a hint, and I just got a whiff, and it gives me a pretty big pecan pie characteristic in the nose. Yeah, that definitely comes off as pecan pie. Pecan, what do you guys say? I usually say pecan. I used to say pecan. I switched at some point. I don't know why. There's really nothing else I'm picking up. Now, I know that the head is, you know, 2 or 3 fingers at this point, but it has vanilla, pecans, a little bit of maple syrup. It definitely has the vibe of a pecan pie. I can't tell you again on the nose here that this is a double IPA. Maybe a slight citrus note like Brad was talking about, but not really. Yeah, like a slight orange. This is all pecan pie in the nose. Like it is screaming pecan pie. So I'm gonna get into the taste. Cheers, everybody. Ooh. Tell you what, right up front, it's weird. It's really weird to me. I can kind of see what Brad's talking about now. Okay, so right up front, made with like a lot of citrus, a lot of rindy citrus too, like orange rind, grapefruit pith, bittering citrus components right up front. As it passes through the palate though, the pecan pie just shows up and is like, yo, I'm here. And you know, I love pecan pie. To be fair, I love all desserts because I'm fat, okay? You line up all the desserts in front of me and I will knock them and smash them all down because I'm fat and I love desserts. But that's for, you know, another discussion at another time. The pecan pie shows up. Definitely a nutty roasted pecan character. The caramel syrup that like Jessica was talking about, I couldn't necessarily pick that out specifically, but I would say it has a nice, like, you know, syrupy sweetness, probably from the maple syrup as well. But on the finish, there is this, it finishes relatively sweet, but there's this like slight astringent like bitterness on the finish. Not quite like an aspirin bitterness, but just something that's kind of like, almost like pine resin. And it's weird mixing in with that sweetness. The body on this one for 8.6%. Higher side of medium body, so that's cool. The mouth feels slightly soft, slightly smooth. There is carbonation here though. So it doesn't have like a, you know, a super just bonkers mouthfeel, but it's nice. This one's all over the place for me, honestly. This is what I'll say. It's not a bad beer in the least. I could definitely see how a lot of people would really love this one. I could see how a lot of people would really hate this one. For me though, the pecan pie, I'm definitely picking up on. The problem for me is it doesn't mix really well with the base double IPA, which is mostly for me just like bittering citrus rind and pithy citrus. There isn't like tropical fruit for me. There's not stone fruits. This is just all about the citrus tones and like a little bit of like resinous pine on the finish. This beer, I will say, while sweet, is not sickly sweet like a lot of their beers can be. Because of that bittering citrus quality, because of the semi-dry finish that I'm picking up on the back of the palate, it definitely has a decent balance to it from that aspect. But for me, it's kind of a jumbled mess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I think about this one. I don't hate it. Let's just say that. I don't hate that. I don't hate that beer. I don't hate this beer. They're the same beer. I just think that it's just not well executed for what I'm looking for. Maybe somebody, like I said, will love it. Maybe somebody will hate it. I'm somewhere in between. So rating on the Pecan Pie Double IPA from Decadent Ales, I'm going to give it a, let's say a 3.25 to a 3.5, somewhere in that realm. I will round up to 3.5 because I'm at like a 3.35, 3.4, somewhere right there. So we'll say 3.5, a generous 3.5, because I think it's kind of a mess. I think if they got rid of that citrus and added actual more tropical and stone fruits, I'd enjoy it more. But as it is, just, you know, it's okay. I'd be curious to see other people try it out. I now know why Brad and Jessica wanted people to try this, because it is kind of polarizing. And I hate using that word, but it truly is, because, you know, I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of different opinions. Anyway, appreciate you guys stopping by for another beer review. Oh, by the way, 8.6%. I can't even tell there's alcohol in here. Anyway, appreciate you guys stopping by. Till the next one, cheers.